Hello, my UW Women's Rowing friends. I'm doing episode 4, and we're going to be putting the quilt together today. So a lot is going to happen. I'm going to start off with the backing. So the first thing we need to do is have that backing. And I've selected a fabric. It's black with a little bit of pattern to it. I think it's going to be kind of cool. I've also put a temporary binding on my quilt front. So I've just sewn this fabric, not beautiful, but it's going to be removed. It helps keep my fabric and my quilt top square. I'm going to be loading everything onto my quilting frame, and I'll have to caution you, I can't do everything with my hands and everything because I need like 3 or 4 hands and I'm here by myself. So anyway, I'll do the best I can. I'll show you what we have, and we'll end up at the end of this episode with a completed quilt. Here's an intermediate step as we put the quilt layers onto the frame. I have the backing. I just set the batting in the middle, and I have a bottom rail that has the quilt top on it. I'll show you the next step in a second. Spend a few mesmerizing minutes winding some bobbins. Now the quilt is loaded on the frame, and I've done some initial basting to have it all be connected, and we're ready to start sewing. So I usually start with the top left, and I work my way across in rows, and then I come down and do another row across. I started a couple of the blocks, and I go block by block quilting as I go, inspired by whatever the design is on the particular shirt, or sometimes just looking at an overall pattern. So all I do is go like this. I finished my first row of stitching, so now I disconnect my bungee cords, and then you can see I have these rollers, and I roll everything up to start another row. It's a new day, and I'm picking up where I left off yesterday and quilting down to the bottom blocks here, and you can see the stitching on the reverse side here. So we will have an interesting pattern on the back side of the quilt, so that'll be fun too. The quilting is complete, and so now I can take it off the frame. Now I have the quilt off the quilting frame, and it's on my cutting table. So I have a cutting table where I can use my rotary cutter to take off the temporary binding and square up this quilt so it's all ready for binding. I have completely removed the temporary binding, so now I'm ready to put on my permanent binding. I have a 3-inch strip of fabric folded and ironed in half, and then joined where needed so that I have one continuous long piece of binding, and I have basically a lap full of this, and I'm going to do the circumference outside edge of the entire quilt, 2 passes. I've completed putting the binding on the quilt and cleaned it up, looking for any loose threads, little tidy up action. And what I have here is a completed quilt. So this is the end of the video series that I have come up with. Thank you, Suila, Coach, for getting me going on the video. I hope it's opened some eyes to what we can do with t-shirts. And this is one of several quilts that I will be making and available for our online auction. So I hope that you tune into the online auction. And also, we are still looking for other items to put in the online auction. So if you have some talents and you have something that you'd like to share, please let us know. And we're going to have a lot of fun with the auction, a lot of fun with our event. Go Badgers.